everyone's been talking about the deconstruction of the Maleficent.
It's tough to say.
Yeah,
Maleficent is in fact the correct pronunciation. I always say Maleficent, but the dialect coaches would step in and go, it's Maleficent.
I don't know how you did that. I can't even, I've been trying to say that name all day today. Can't do it. But that character, there's been the breakdown of that. But what about your character?
Man, it's very much taking a male sort of stereotype, archetype of the man who wants to succeed and wants to be a success and wants to get noticed and wants to feel equal or superior to his partner almost, you know, as what happens to Stefan, and he goes and tries to become king and has a moment where he can sacrifice his true love to get everything he always dreamed of, and makes that sacrifice and unfortunately can't find his way back.
Well, that scene, that entire scene is so disturbing and heartbreaking.
Yes.
What you do to her is just despicable. You can't go back from that.
Yes, well, I think, again, to me, it's a metaphorical example of sort of what happens when male, stereotypical kind of alpha male ambition goes wrong. And metaphorically, you know, this is an extreme case of doing something to your partner, but I think, you know, plenty of men in the world have done that. You know, men become successful and then they leave their wives for some younger, more beautiful girl, or they, you know, they're cheating and they, you know, they're doing things that are not within their fundamental nature, which is also to protect and provide and use that masculinity in a positive way, not just for yourself.
Yeah. Working with the director, who is from visual effects, and he's really wonderful, he kind of gives us a really unique world.
He does.
What was it like kind of stepping into it? You've done big budget before, obviously, but this felt different. This felt like a Disney movie.
Well, of course, because he's created, I mean, you got to, and also budget-wise, it's over $200 million. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's the biggest thing I've ever done by quite a long way. And it's the interesting thing about Rob Strongbow is he really is a kind of artistic savant genius type of person, because he's won an Oscar for production design. He created and designed these worlds himself, you know, the characters, the creatures, the landscapes. That's not normal in a film like this. You know, normally the director is pulling in teams of different designers and kind of choosing how he wants to shape the world. This is Rob just creating the whole world in his own head and physically being able to draw it and say, this is what this looks like, this is how this creature looks, this is what he moves like, this is how he, you know, so it was a real privilege to work with someone. And so his whole approach is very sort of almost internal, of bringing you into his space, not about trying to be the guy who's commanding the whole ship. Just like come into, you know, bring this part of you into my world, bring this, you know, bring this character into my world that I'm making. It was a real privilege to work with him in that way.
Do you play a character like this and do you go, oh, you know what, I like this guy, or I don't like this guy, or does that even come into play?
No, I mean, I do things in the film that I really don't like, and I'm just like, you know, and that I would just be beyond, it's just beyond anything that I would be capable of. You know, physically fighting with a woman, for example, there's no reality in which I could do that in terms of how I was brought up, in terms of, so there was like one or two things like that were really difficult for me. But I'm just trying to play, you know, it's not about, you can't judge your characters. It's just play the truth of what this guy is. And so then you can't judge it, you know. It's like, it's just an extreme version of priority when a guy says, oh, your character's bad. It's like, really? So you've never, you know, stood your girlfriend up because you were working, or you were late for your wife because you had to do something at work, or you know. Now this is an extreme case of what a lot of men are doing. It's a worst case scenario. If you push that all the way, what could happen to you? And so, yeah, you can't judge it. You know, people just behave. He has the opportunity, he could have let love into his life to save him as it saves Angie's character, but he doesn't.
Well, also, it seems like if you're going up against Angelina Jolie, it's probably not a fair fight. She'd probably kick all our asses.
Yeah, yes, well, you know, especially with the wings, as it turns out.
All right.